Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet two of the driving forces behind Rising Star Recovery. They'll talk about their journey and what they bring to the world of addiction recovery. Next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you talk to anybody in the world of addiction recovery, you'll discover that in the last few years, the numbers have just skyrocketed. I attribute it to COVID-19, so many people staying at home and having a glass of wine or two during the day because, you know, what else is there to do? And now it's rearing its ugly head in the form of addiction. Two people who know that very well are my next guests, Tami Guttman and Deanna Richardson. They're both with Rising Star Recovery. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Very cool. Well, before we get into your journey, let's address that. Did COVID-19 play a number on the world when it comes to addiction? Do you want to start?
I think so. I know a lot of people were depressed. They were not really able to get out to their recovery solutions. And also, you were able to order tequila and have it Ubered to your house. So, sure. You know, that struggle to get to the gas station or being embarrassed to get too many bottles or, you know, whatever it may be, I think that you're right. It definitely caused a bigger problem than we had already.
Sure. And Tami, I noticed that in every TV show and movie, it seems to be glamorized. Moms going out there and tying one on. I mean, does social media and the media itself play a role?
Absolutely, Jeff. The social media, it makes it look glamorous and like everyone's having fun when internally there's deep down darkness and despair and addiction that takes control and gets ahead.
And one of the things I think that sets you apart from other people in the addiction recovery field is you both have more than enough experience with it yourself. Deanna, why don't we start with you? What's your journey?
Well, you know, it started very early for me. Unfortunately, I became addicted as a young teenager, and that road to recovery started probably around 14 years old. I came to the rooms of recovery when I was 21 and been in recovery ever since. I've seen a lot of people get recovered, get happy, get free, but I've also seen a lot of people that just can't get it and that struggle and come in and out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tami, tell us about your journey.
Absolutely. So you had mentioned COVID earlier, and I think that hit me on a personal note extremely hard. I just used it as an excuse that, I can drink more and more and have the booze delivered to my home. And, you know, I took advantage of that time, and I really went through a lot, and it was harmful to myself when I really wish I was out there helping people like we're trying to do today. Like Deanna, my journey started young. I went to a treatment facility to learn about the disease of alcoholism at 17 years old. I got some recovery in there, but nothing like what there is today with the solution that we'd like to offer at Rising Star Recovery. Because after a while, the addiction took hold. I mean, it gets in there, it's dark, it's not a fun place to live, and I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to be alive today and help others.
Absolutely. And you guys both met in recovery. Let's talk about the Rising Star Recovery, and we're going to pull the website up because you guys are literally in startup mode right now, but you have a beautiful website. What sets you apart from other people in this space?
Well, you know, there's a lot of negative recovery spaces for the chronic alcoholic. And what I mean by that is an alcoholic who doesn't recover from just a normal therapeutic experience. Our experience is that we needed something a little bit more. We needed not just a vacation to kind of get away from life, but we needed an internal recovery. And that's what we're trying to offer at Rising Star Recovery, is a place to not just stop drinking, but learn how to live life.
Absolutely. We've got a video from our library that we're going to roll right now. And tell us the types of addictions that you're seeing now. Is it more men, more women, more teens?
In my personal experience, Jeff, I work with adolescents, and so it is an astounding number of young people out there that are struggling with alcoholism and drug addiction and have nowhere to turn. And therapy may or may not be working for them. They need an actual, true recovery opportunity to yes, be away from their community, but also learn how to get well, get recovered, and get back into it.
Sure. And some people become very good at disguising it. Deanna, when you were in the throes of your addiction, were you able to hide it pretty well?
I thought I was able to hide it pretty well. I learned once I got sober that I wasn't hiding it well at all. My family and my friends knew. But there were a lot of people in my life who just thought, well, she's having fun and it's not a real problem. I think that's the truth for a lot of us, is that we disguise it, we mask it, and maybe some people know. But I think there's a lot of people who don't know, who believe that, it's a social thing. For me, it went from social to everyday to a necessity.
Sure. Tami, I know there are a lot of recovery centers out there. What do you think defines you and what makes it different than others?
Absolutely. I think what defines us is that Deanna and I both have been to many different options for recovery, and it may have worked for a little while, but nothing really stuck until I truly learned this internal way of living with 12 spiritual principles and actually having someone who understood me. There's nothing like one alcoholic working with another alcoholic that relays that message and gets it across, and the passion that comes with it.
So, Deanna, right now we're kind of in a soft launch phase, but eventually this becomes a facility. Talk about that.
Yeah, so the facility that we would like to have is going to be a women's wing and a men's wing. And eventually, hopefully, our goal is to do an adolescent wing as well. It's going to be a place where they come for 14 days. It's nonprofit, 100% free. And they learn from the volunteers that come in. And it's about 12-step spiritual principles.
Sure. I know different facilities use different techniques. I know shame is a big issue. So how do you guys plan to address the shame that people feel when they're in the throes of addiction?
Absolutely. So we do believe in therapy and the therapeutic process, and we will have therapists on board that can go through and get on a deeper, more clinical level. But the program that we teach is basic daily living skills for people that struggle with alcohol and addiction to cope with life on a daily basis and get out there and live and help other people to recover from this disease.
Deanna, how do people know when they need someone like you?
Through experience. The only way that I knew that I needed help is through drinking enough. And I had to be done. I had to know that nothing else was going to help me. I tried everything. I tried moving. I tried changing friends. I tried changing jobs. And none of those things seemed to work. And I knew that I needed to be around people who were like me, who understood me. And I found a place where I got in front of a woman who told my story, but she wasn't hopeless. Her eyes were lit up. She was happy. She was free. And I knew that that was something that I wanted.
Outstanding. We only have a short time left, so Tami, why don't we give you the final word?
Okay.
What would you like to leave people with?
Absolutely. So Rising Star Recovery comes from passion from two people who have been there, have been where you may be right now. This is a family disease. It affects the families, so we're going to work with the families as well as the individual recovering from alcoholism. Our main goal is to have a solution and to be present in the community with resources such as sober living homes, other therapeutic ways of life. We will also have a program called Arch to Freedom, which is an intensive outpatient. So we're not just having you stay with us for 14 days and then throwing you out to the wolves. We're going to be there the whole way through, see you through, and make sure that you're happy, joyous, and free.
Outstanding. You guys have been amazing guests, and good luck as you go on with your mission and ministry. We're going to end with the website, which is Rising Star Recovery. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.